Hey guys, thank you very much for joining. I don't know how many of you are already live. So first couple introductory things. Here, when I look here, I look at YouTube. When I look here, I look at the Facebook group, and I'm constantly trying to bring you more value and make this live stream more enjoyable and more beneficial for you. So I decided that on Facebook, I will use the back camera, which has a very good resolution. So unfortunately, I don't see your comments there. So I will get to your questions at the end and I will answer the comments at the end. Or if you want, you can go from my Facebook group to YouTube, and on YouTube I will be able to see. I'll try to see here on Facebook as well, but I'm not sure if I can see myself like recording there. So I'll do my best. But if I'm looking here to Facebook and you write in a comment or question and I'm not replying, it's because I cannot see the screen because I want to have a better quality of the recording. So either go to my YouTube channel and comment there because I have this here on my laptop and I'll reply there, or just leave it, stay till the end, and I will cover and answer all your questions on Facebook at the end. So let's jump into the topic now. Today's topic is family reunification, and basically the difference between family reunification visa, family reunification residence permit. What are the pros and cons? When you can work, when you cannot work, how to get those, what are the required documents, basically everything related to family reunification visa. So let's start with what it is, family reunification visa. Basically, if some non-EU citizen is living and residing in the Czech Republic legally under a long-term visa or long-term residence permit, non-EU citizens, and they want to bring their family members, like direct family members, mainly their spouses and or kids, then the family reunification visa is the right thing to apply for, because it's pretty simple. If there is one person, non-EU citizen, legally residing in the Czech Republic, bringing their families is pretty easy, because Czech Republic doesn't like foreigners in general. But when there is already someone in the Czech Republic, the Czech Republic family is very important for the Czech Republic. So they will never give you any hard time unnecessarily if you're trying to bring family. But what it means, family for the Czech Republic, for the Ministry of the Interior, is only your spouses or your kids. You cannot really bring here parents. I mean, you can, but it's very complicated. They need to be either above some age limit, or they need to be like living alone and be sick and like without any money, without any financial means. So it's a bit complicated to get here parents. But for spouses and kids, that's kind of pretty simple process. But there are two different types of family reunification you can apply for, and I will cover the differences now. So basically, to put it simply, there are two types based on your ability to work or ability not to work. So because people often ask me, okay, I want to bring my spouse. Will she be or will he be able to work right away? And this very much depends on what you apply for. If you apply for the visa, then you cannot work. If you apply for the residence permit, then you can work. But there are some rules. So let's jump into that right now and I'll explain everything. So what's basically the difference between the long-term visa with the family reunification purpose and the long-term residence permit with the family reunification purpose? The main thing is that getting the long-term visa is pretty simple and straightforward process. So that's like easy process. Second, the approval is pretty fast for the visa compared to the residence permit. You just need to show that you have enough money in your bank account, and you don't need to prove any income or anything like that. So it's another advantage. On the other hand, you cannot be employed under the long-term visa, and the maximum validity of the visa is 1 year, which is on one hand disadvantage because it's not as much as for the residence permit. On the other hand, you only need to buy health insurance for 1 year, which now is great advantage because the health insurance is pretty expensive and you don't have any choice. So that's the long-term visa. The long-term residence permit is better because it's a stronger type of residence in the Czech Republic. It can be given to you for up to 2 years or whatever is the validity of your spouses or your parents, if you're a kid, residence permit. So that's a great advantage. On the other hand, if you apply for and another great advantage is that it, in some cases, it allows you to get employed without any further permissions or anything like that. So those are two main advantages of the long-term residence permit. On the other hand, since the validity can be up to 2 years, you need to buy health insurance for 2 years, which can be pretty expensive right now. Second, some conditions apply because you cannot always apply directly for the residence permit. There are some limitations. I'll get to them later on. The approval can take way longer. I'll get through that as well. And the process is generally more complicated, especially because you need to prove your monthly income, not just that you have enough money in your bank account. So guys, again, just here, I look at Facebook, at YouTube, and here I look at Facebook. So if I like do this, it's not because I have some I don't know, but because I'm like changing the cameras. Okay, so now let's go through the long-term visa family reunification purpose and go deeper in the topic of like the process and how long it takes and the disadvantages and advantages. So for the long-term visa, the process is pretty easy because you just your main family member is already living here, the main applicant, and they're just trying to bring their families, kids or spouses. So the process, and the Czech Republic likes families. They kind of respect families. So it's the process to get the long-term visa for the family reunification purpose is pretty simple. Also, the approval process is fast. It's officially 60 to 90 days. So it's can be shorter, especially if you have all the documents and you apply at some close embassy, then it can be even shorter. So the approval, if you want to bring your spouse or kids as soon as possible to the Czech Republic, then the family reunification visa is definitely the best option because it's fast, like 60 to 90 days. You also just need to show that you have enough money in your bank account. Enough, there is a calculation for that, but roughly it's 95,000 crowns per adult, and half of that, so 47, 48, let's say, for a kid. So that's easy. You just have the money in your bank account. That's it. You present the bank statement, and that's all it. So you don't need to prove any monthly income, anything like that. So it's easy from this perspective as well. On the other hand, the maximum validity of the visa is 1 year, also dependent on the validity of your spouses or parents' visas. And you cannot get employed under this type of visa, under the long-term visa. Of course, you can get a trade license and you can work as a freelancer, or you can switch to the employee card. If you find a job and the employer is willing to help you with the process, you can switch to the employee card. But under the family reunification visa itself, you cannot work. So that was the long-term visa with the purpose of family reunification. Now the long-term residence permit. Maybe for you to imagine, if you're new to this, the visa is just a sticker in your passport saying you can stay in the Czech Republic as a family member, as a dependent for 1 year. The residence permit is like a plastic biometric card with all your fingerprints and digital photo, all this, which can be valid for up to 2 years, and it's like a stronger type of residence permit. So now for the long-term residence permit with the family reunification purpose. The process is a bit more complicated because the visa, you apply for it at the embassy, the embassy issues that. Simple as that. For the family reunification residence permit, you apply for it at the embassy, but then you need to come to the Czech Republic, to the Ministry of the Interior, give your fingerprints and photo and signature and everything. And then like 2-3 weeks later, you also need to go collect the actual card. So the process has more steps and it's a bit more complicated. Also, some of the paperwork is more complicated because it's not enough to just show that you have enough money in your bank account, but you need to show your monthly income, which needs to be high enough to cover the whole family's expenses. So it's more complicated from this perspective as well. Conditions apply for the long-term residence permit as well, because for the visa, for the long-term visa with the family reunification purpose of stay, you can apply anytime. Along with the main applicant, if your, husband, wife is applying for the employee card, you can directly apply for the family reunification at the same time, or anytime after the approval, like anytime. For the long-term residence permit, there are conditions. Depending on what type of visa does the main applicant have, then the conditions apply. So for example, if you have a student visa or student residence permit, your family can only apply for the residence permit with the family reunification purpose after 15 months of being in the Czech Republic. If you have the employee card, your family can only apply for the residence permit after 6 months of you having the employee card and being in the Czech Republic. If you have a blue card, they can apply at the same time. There is 0 months waiting time. But there are these conditions. So especially if you come here as a student and you want to bring your family, then it's definitely better to bring them first under the long-term visa, and only after the 15 months or when you get close to that, apply for the residence permit. The advantage of the long-term residence permit is also that your spouse can directly start working when they arrive to the Czech Republic or when they get the residence card. So that's another great advantage, but again, you need to fulfill the conditions first. Kind of a disadvantage of the long-term residence permit is that the approval can take up to 270 days. For the visa, it's 60 to 90 days. For the residence permit, it can be up to 270. So especially if you want your family to come here as soon as possible, even if they will not be able to work, then the visa is definitely better than the residence permit because it can take longer. Okay, so those were the differences. And now I'll go through the documents required for each of those, and I'll go into a bit more details. So the long-term visa with the family reunification purpose, the dependent visa, or family reunion visa, however we call it. So the visa, the sticker in your passport. Documents needed for that. Application form, that's easy, Czech and English, fill it in, no complications there. Passport, you need to have a valid passport, you need to have at least 2 blank pages, and the passport must be valid for at least 1.5 more years, because the maximum validity of the visa is 1 year. The approval time will take some time, and then the passport still needs to be valid for at least 3 more months. So let's say 1.5 more years from when you apply. Then proof of funds. You need to prove that you have enough money in your bank account. So either your spouse or you in your bank account, and plus you will fill in an affidavit saying that you will be supporting your spouse or your kids, but you need to have enough money in your bank account. Enough is approximately 95,000 crowns for an adult and half of that amount for every kid. So this is pretty simple as well. Then you need to have 2 passport size photos, proof of accommodation. That's also one very important thing, because the proof of accommodation needs to be for the same address as the main applicant. So if the main applicant lives in address A, the family, for the family reunification visa, needs to live at the same address. They need to have the same proof of accommodation from that address, because you cannot live. People often ask us about that because there are different situations in life that maybe the main applicant lives somewhere, but the family cannot live there. Whatever can happen, but the address must be the same, because otherwise, if you live here and you say your family will be living here, it's kind of like, strange. Why they will not be living with you? And the ministry could easily deny the application based on that. So keep in mind that the proof of accommodation must be for the same address as the main applicant's address. Then obviously you need to have the marriage certificate or birth certificate. It needs to be apostilled or super-legalized from the country of origin. And then it also needs to be officially translated into Czech. Otherwise you cannot use it. Ministry will not accept it. Then one important thing is the medical insurance, which, if you follow me, you definitely know. And if you don't follow me, check the videos on YouTube or in my Facebook group, or I have TikTok where I'm growing pretty fast. The situation with the health insurance is that you don't have any choice now. You have to go with that one company, PVZP, and you cannot choose anything else. Because the government gave them monopoly for 5 years, so they're the only health insurance company allowed to sell the comprehensive coverage, which you need for either the visa and the residence permit. And the first thing they did once they got the monopoly, they increased their prices. So now, if we're talking about an adult between 15 and 44, I believe, then the price is around 26,000 crowns per year. So you need to buy the health insurance for a year. For kids, it's more. So if you have like one spouse and one kid, it might be like 50,000 crowns for a year just for the medical insurance. And hopefully you will get a better coverage for that than before. Then before when you were getting health insurance for 12,000 crowns a year. But unfortunately, you cannot choose anything now. But at least you don't have to submit the health insurance along with your visa application. You can wait for the approval and then buy the insurance and submit it. So you can delay paying the money a bit later along the way. Then you need to pay administrative fee to the embassy for submitting the application. That's approximately 100 euros. Half of that usually for kids, but slightly depends on the particular embassy where you apply. If you were moving here your kid alone, for example, the husband was living here already, or the wife, doesn't matter, and only the kid was moving here, not the spouse, then the kid would also need to have a consent from the other parent saying that the parent is fine with the kid moving here alone. And then one thing for adults, it doesn't apply to kids, but for adults, you need to present a police clearance certificate, the criminal check from the country of your origin. Again, it must be super legalized or apostilled. It cannot be older than 3 months and must be officially translated into Czech. Then additionally, the ministry can request a health report or medical report, but I've only seen it once in 10 years, and in about 10,000 clients we've had moved to Prague in the last 10 years. So it's not very likely. It would only apply if you were coming from some country where there was some very serious sickness spread at that time. So the ministry could request some confirmation that you don't have this sickness. But again, I've seen it once in 10 years, so not very likely. So this was the list of documents for the long-term visa with the family purpose. Guys, if you want this list, either go to our website to movetoprague.com, Prague/Prague-blog, and you can find all the blogs there with the list of documents, or shoot me a message, send me an email, and I'll be happy to share the list with you, or share the link to the blog where you can find it as well. And now let's go to the long-term residence permit with a family reunification purpose of stay. What documents are needed? I've explained the differences between the visa and the residence permit. You can work, you cannot work, blah, blah, blah. But now let's go through the documents. So what you need for the long-term residence permit with the family purpose of stay? Application form. Again, it's easy, Czech and English, nothing too complicated there. Passport, that needs to be valid. It must have some blank pages as well. Valid for, let's say, ideally 2.5 more years from now, or from the moment when you apply. You need to have 2 passport size photos. Then you need to have proof of accommodation. Again, it must be at the same address as the main applicant. Then you need to have the marriage certificate or birth certificate. Even if you, for example, if you came here under a long-term visa, you presented the marriage certificate and the birth certificate, and now you're just applying for the residence permit, like kind of extension of the visa, you still need to present it again, because the ministry obviously cannot use the old one, the old original you submitted before. So you need to have a new one, again, apostilled, super legalized, translated into Czech officially, all this. Then proof of income, that becomes kind of interesting, because I've seen this many times that, for example, people have contract for the minimum salary allowed in the Czech Republic, and then they get the rest of the money, maybe like even double that, in cash, which is not really fine from the tax perspective, and the employer only does it to save on taxes, so they don't have to like pay taxes for you nor for the company itself. But on the other hand, it's not really good from the perspective of getting someone here, because the ministry will only calculate with the official income, which you have in papers, and not what you get cash somewhere. So if you, for example, only have the minimum income and you want to bring your spouse and your kid, you might not be making enough. So if you need to sort this out, get in touch. I'll be happy to help with that, because it would be for another full live stream. But in general, for the residence permit, you already need to prove not that you have enough money in your bank account, but that you have high enough monthly income. So from this perspective, it's also better to first apply for the visa, because then the spouse can come here, can get a trade license, start earning some money as well, and then you can combine the income when it's time for you to get the residence permit. So yeah, get in touch if you need any advice about this. But the point is that the proof of income needs to be like a monthly income, not just a bank account balance. Then again, if it's your income, if it's the main applicant's income, for example, then the main applicant also needs to sign an affidavit saying that their spouse or kids can use that income if it's not their own income. Then you need to have the medical insurance. Again, the same thing. Now the difference is that the maximum validity of the residence permit is 2 years. So if you want to get the residence permit for 2 years, you need to have health insurance for 2 years, which basically means paying 50,000 crowns per person, more for kids, so maybe like 120,000 crowns for your spouse and kid. We'll see. Like, no, I don't know. I could talk about this for forever. I don't know why exactly this happened, but it happened. So now you don't have any other choice. So if you live here, want to bring your family, prepare that you will need to pay a lot of money for the health insurance. Yeah, then the next thing you need to have, the next document is basically the administrative fee. If you apply directly at the embassy, if you qualify for the residence permit and you apply directly through the embassy, it's equivalent to 2,500 in the local currency or in euros. If you apply in the Czech Republic at the Ministry of the Interior, for example, as extension of your stay, then it's 2,500 paid in the revenue stamps in kolky. So again, not cash, not card, the stamps which you buy at the post office. Then consent of parents. Again, if the kid was living here or moving here alone without the other parent, then the kid would need the consent of the other parent that the kid is allowed to come here alone. And power of attorney, that's mainly meant if you use our services, because for example, in Move to Prague, we can take care of all this mostly on your behalf. You just need to go submit the application in person and then go to give the biometrics in person. But we need to have a power of attorney that we can represent you in front of the ministry. So that would be another document. And again, if it's your first application, if you're applying for the residence permit through a Czech embassy, you also need to submit the criminal check from the country of origin, apostilled, super legalized, translated into Czech. If you're applying in the Czech Republic as an extension of your stay under the visa, then you don't need to provide a criminal check. Medical report could be again requested, but I've never seen it requested in the Czech Republic. I've seen it once when applied at the embassy, but never in the Czech Republic. So that was basically it. I hope it was useful and helpful. And now I don't see any questions on YouTube. So for those of you who are watching, if you have any questions on YouTube, please let me know, write them down, and I'll be happy to answer them. But now I'll check the Facebook feed, because there are usually more people watching and more people commenting. So I'll take that. So guys on Facebook, please just don't be scared. I'll show you myself. This is our office, by the way. If you were interested, this is what our office looked like. So this is me. And now let's see if I have any questions there. Oh, no one had a question. No one had a question on Facebook either. So guys, I'll give you some more time. I'll just, if I can, switch the camera. Ooh, wonderful. So guys, if you have any questions about the family reunification visa, oh shit, sorry. I'll keep it like this. Sorry, guys. So if you have any questions about the family reunification visa or anything else, basically, now's the time. Jennifer Parker, I'll ask my questions on Wednesday. Yeah, of course. Looking forward to taking you to the Ministry of the Interior, and we'll be happy to answer all your questions there. Guys, if anyone else has any other questions, please go ahead. I'll be happy to answer them. Otherwise, also please join my group on Facebook. It's called Expats in CZE Help and Support Group, and I share useful content there. I do all the live streams through there, and we'll be having more content there, because the group is to help and support expats in the Czech Republic. So I'll be sharing, and I'm already sharing some useful info there and like videos like this. And I'm also doing pretty well, in my opinion, on TikTok. So if you have TikTok, guys, please go there as well. Find me as Jan Kalina Official, I believe, or just Jan the _ Kalina. And I share short videos, like more to the point. These live streams are more about like interacting, answering your questions, giving you more detailed information. So usually I keep the recordings on Facebook, and I keep the recordings on YouTube as well, so you can always watch it there. Okay, I can see that. Okay, I just somehow got frozen on Facebook. Anyway, sorry guys. So if you don't have any more questions, please follow me everywhere. Give me a like here. Follow my page on YouTube. It really helps because it shows me that people are interested. I'm steadily growing. I'm very much growing on TikTok. Sorry guys for disappearing. The internet had some trouble. Please follow me on YouTube because I do every week, Monday and Thursday, and I go deeper in the topics, and I also give the space for you to ask questions. And I'm doing pretty well, in my opinion, on TikTok. So if you have TikTok, find me there as well and follow me there as well. I do more to the point videos, shorter, just about one specific topic. So if you're just looking to watch short content, this is the best place to go. So thank you very much, guys. The recording will stay on Facebook in my group and on YouTube on my channel. So if you forgot some information, you can always go there. And thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.